How's it going, you guys? AZPlyo21 back again with another episode, another pay-per-view in our UFC save in WMMA 5. And here today, it is a big card, UFC 291, Jones versus Velasquez. 3 titles on the line in this big pay-per-view event, including the heavyweight, welterweight, and featherweight championships. I appreciate you guys as always. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. I provide a lot more WMMA 5 content to go along with a bunch of other video games that I play. The next pay-per-view is going to be UFC 292, Fajeda versus Ferguson. 3 titles on the line on that pay-per-view card as well. Let's get into this. It is pay-per-view time. Let's do it. As always, be sure to like the video, subscribe, follow me on Twitch and Twitter. Links are down in the description below. We are in Nevada for the pay-per-view. Let's get going with our prelims. Jessica Evil Eye taking on Fumiko Noguchi in our first prelim in the flyweight division, and Noguchi giving Jessica Evil Eye her 14th loss of her career via unanimous decision. She's now 2-0 in the UFC. Ronnie Sadet taking on Jordan Espinosa in the flyweight division, and it is Sadet getting the win in round number 1. Number 21 in the division might be going up after that win. Claudia Ray missed weight against Priscilla Cachoeira in the bantamweight division. No, in the flyweight division, my bad. She might, actually I might have to put her up to the bantamweight division after this. So Claudia Ray, we're going to need to move her up. I thought she was in the bantamweight division, but nonetheless. Claudia Ray gets the split decision over Cachoeira, but we are putting her up in the bantamweight division, which is basically where she belongs anyways. All right, let's see. Uncle Creepy Ian McCall taking on Makoto Takahashi in the flyweight division. McCall, 38 years old, taking on a guy 16 years his junior. And Takahashi gets the knockout over Ian McCall in round number 2. Rated as a great fight. You love to see it. Tony Gravely taking on Umar Nurmagomedov in the bantamweight division. Gravely 25-6-1. Nurmagomedov only 1 loss on his record, and make that 1 still after getting a unanimous decision over Tony Gravely. He is now 5-1 in his UFC career after some big wins over Jimmy Rivera, Brian Kelleher. Is Gravely ranked? Gravely's not ranked, but I'd imagine Umar should be ranked after that win. 5-1. Some wins over ranked opponents already. I mean, come on. It makes sense. Brianna Van Buren taking on Natalia Denisova in the strawweight division. Denisova 17-5, the odds-on favorite, but she loses to Brianna Van Buren via unanimous decision. Fight was rated as being great. Van Buren gets her 13th win of her career. Johnny Big Rig Hendricks taking on Romero Cotton in the middleweight division. Cotton, a big Bellator prospect, 29 years of age. Big Rig, 10 years his senior. And with, what is that, 10, 32, 22 more fights than him. Yikes. But Romero Cotton gets a split decision over Big Rig Hendricks, getting his 10th win of his career. Moving on. Toyoshige Hidaka taking on Brendan Leeser in the middleweight division. 2 guys with not the most experience, but I think both of these guys are ranked. Number 25, Leeser, and Hidaka, number 24. And via these 2, Hidaka gets a unanimous decision after 3 rounds over Brendan Leeser. He is now 7-0. And I mean, look at that win streak he had in WEC, including wins over Shabazian and Darren Stewart. And he gets a big win over Brendan Leeser here today. Ray Cooper III taking on Magomed Nurov in the middleweight division. 27-8-1, and the odds-on favorite is Ray Cooper. Nurov only 2 losses on his record, and Brada Boy gets the win via unanimous decision. The number 21 welterweight making his UFC debut, and in successful fashion here today. Clay the Carpenter Guida taking on Joey Davis in our final prelim here today. This is a big fight, a big-time veteran against a very good prospect in Joey Davis. Davis is a huge favorite in this fight. Davis not ranked despite being 5-1 in the UFC, losing to Neil Magny, the only ranked opponent that he's had. Clay Guida, on the other hand, a huge veteran, coming off a win over Michelle Prazeres. And the winner in our final prelim is Joey Davis. Knocks out Clay Guida with 1 second left to go in round number 2. Would not be surprised if Guida retires. He did not. Joey Davis, happy that he got the win. All right. We are here at the main card And we open up with a banger. I mean, I'd love to see this fight in real life. $60, everyone. Thank you very much. Michael Venom Page taking on Nathaniel Diaz. I'm going to be seeing Nate Diaz next weekend, or maybe this weekend if you're watching on YouTube, because I live in Arizona, and that's where Adesanya Vettori is happening. That card's going to be amazing. I'm stoked for it. Let's get this going. Nate Diaz is the favorite over MVP, despite MVP only having one loss on his record. 3-0 in the UFC thus far, having a good time. Nate Diaz, 37 years old, big-time veteran, number 9 in the division, coming off wins over Michael Chiesa and Derek Brunson. Ray Cooper's dad was also a UFC fighter. What was his name? Or was it just Ray Cooper II? Probably Ray Cooper Jr., I'd imagine. Nonetheless, MVP and Nate Diaz, I say MVP wins. Nate Diaz, via unanimous decision, gets a win over MVP. Wow. Nate Diaz turning back the clock. That's 3 straight wins for him. All right. Claudia Gadelha taking on Stamp Fairtex. Fairtex, a very impressive prospect thus far. 9-0. Claudia Gadelha, former champion, currently number 3 in the division, coming off a win over Marina Rodriguez. Stamp Fairtex, on the other hand, coming off a win over Zhang Weili. A win here over Gadelha, and Stamp Fairtex is fighting for the title. For the title. After just 6 fights. It'd be a pretty incredible, rise to the top. She's only 25 years old. So a lot of time to build around this girl if she ends up, being very successful. She's an underdog against Gadelha. 9 years younger than her. But Stamp Fairtex knocks out Claudia Gadelha, the former champion, in 1:09 into round number 2. The 25-year-old will be fighting for the UFC title. Gives a show of respect to her opponent. Gotta love it. Stamp Fairtex, the next strawweight contender. Blessed Max Holloway taking on Zabit Magomedsharipov to unify the featherweight championship of the world. Zabit went on a big hiatus, then beat Ortega to win the interim crown. Max Holloway, seemingly always on hiatus for whatever reason. Number 1 featherweight in the world. He's only fought 4 times in this save. Beat Volkanovski, beat Zabit, beat Andre Fili, and then beat Yair Rodriguez. There's not even the co-main event. We have 3 title fights to speak of. So let's get this first title fight underway. Nothing damaging coming out of these guys just yet. Coming forward and engaging. Great right hook for Holloway. Off, lands a nice right hook. I mean, both of these guys are kind of pressure fighters. Zabit might want to wrestle a little bit more against Holloway. Don't believe I've ever seen Holloway really go against any, super duper wrestlers or anything like that. I'm not 100% sure. Leg kick, left kick to the body. Neither fighter landing anything good. Engaging in the center. Wicked right uppercut. And Magam... Oh, wow. Ladies and gentlemen. After 4 minutes and 17 seconds into round number 1, the referee calls a stop to this contest, declaring your winner by knockout and still the undisputed UFC featherweight champion of the world, Max Blessed Holloway, beating Zabit for the 2nd time for the title. And there he is. Celebrates continuing his reign as champion. Congrats to Max Holloway. Now, this guy's been silently kind of, upping his resume, making a case for himself to be like the all-time GOAT at welterweight. And this would be another chance for him to do that. Vicente Luque, number 6 pound-for-pound fighter. Look at this win streak that he's had. He has not lost since the beginning of this save. Nico Price, Ben Askren, Santiago Ponzinibbio, Michael Chiesa. Beats GSP for the title, beats Leon Edwards, Jorge Masvidal, and then beats Wonderboy. And he faces off a resurging Tyron Woodley. of all people. Wins over Clint Hester and Robbie Lawler. And, you know, he's not getting any younger, so I figured, hey, why not give him a chance? Why not give him a shot? And he's only the underdog by a small margin. And I really hope my boy Tyron Woodley knocks out Jake Paul whenever that fight is. But here he has a chance to win back the welterweight crown. Let's see how he does it. Luque undefeated in my save 2, such a monster. I mean, in real life, he's really good. I mean, that loss to Wonder Boy was kind of a step back, but he's amazing. Also goes to show how good Wonder Boy is, though. Woodley hits the left hand. Oh boy. What if Woodley wins here? That would be insane. 40-year-old. Uh-oh. It's a knockout. Woodley's down and out. Ladies and gentlemen, the referee calls a stop to this contest at 2 minutes of the very first round, declaring the winner by knockout and still the undisputed UFC welterweight champion of the world, Vicente, Silent Assassin, Luque. Well, figured. Khabib is 35-0, 2-division champion. Nice. We've arrived at our main event of the evening for the heavyweight championship of the world. 40-year-old CAIN Velasquez. Look at that win streak. Yair Rozenstruik, Volkov, Gane, Blades, and Fedor. Getting rid of a legend in the process. Takes on Jon Bones Jones for the heavyweight championship of the world. No one can beat this guy. No one has gotten even close. No one's gotten close. Since the beginning of the save, he's beaten Blachowicz, won the heavyweight title from Ngannou, Dominic Reyes, Curtis Blades, Shogun Rua, beat Ngannou again, and Ion Cutelaba. Can't get Khabib quite out of retirement. Got the older databases where he was still active. Jon Bones Jones and CAIN Velasquez for the heavyweight championship of the world. Jon Jones is a small favorite. I'd probably put a lot of money down on that. Mark Goddard, your referee. Our main event is underway. These guys are both... Oh, my God. Nearly ending it in like 50 seconds is Jon Jones. Jones keeps his guard secure. Velasquez is on top. Takedown. Takes his back. Jones tries... Uh-oh, Velasquez putting in a rear naked choke. He can't get it. John popped in your save. That's Velasquez trying to get a rear naked choke in again. Ooh, and round one comes to an end. Jones apparently won the round, nearly finishing him in like less than a... Uh-oh, takedown attempt. He gets it. Velasquez pulling guard. What is Jones going to do? These guys are both wrestlers. Weak-looking punches. Double underhooks from Velasquez, so he can't really do anything. Looking for an elbow is Velasquez from the bottom. Jones slowing things down. He's controlling him, so he's winning the round. This is typical Jon Jones. Do just enough to win the round. Velasquez knocked down. Jones senses victory, and he's unloading. Jones is going at it, and Velasquez survives. Jones going for an armbar. Velasquez says nope. Round two comes to an end. Another round for Jon Jones, nearly finishing Velasquez again. Takedown attempt from Velasquez, and Jones gets taken down. Okay, CAIN, get something going here, huh? Velasquez tries to pass guard. Jones inside control. Jones tries to get in an armbar. He can't get it. Jones trying to get a Kimura. No. Both these guys good at defending these submission attempts. Jones blocked an attempt to pull guard. Velasquez dealing with some punches comfortably. Round three comes to an end. And apparently that one went to Jones as well. CAIN is a zombie. Yeah, I mean, crunching right hook. Catches CAIN. Jones working into a dominant position, wrestling him back up into the cage. Velasquez does not let him do so. Controlling Velasquez now. Going for a takedown, and he gets it. Jones starting to get a little bit tired now. Takedown attempt from Velasquez. Jones sprawls. Jones in the clinch. Halfway through round number 4. This is a good main event for the heavyweight championship of the world. Takedown attempt again on top of a turtled Velasquez here in round number 4. Jones pounding away. Not able to get much going on Velasquez. Less than a minute. Jones getting back control. And that's it for round number 4. And Jones probably has 4 or 3 rounds at the very least. Velasquez needs to get something going. Lands a big right hand on CAIN. Jones taking the initiative. Sensational right head kick. It's a knockout. Velasquez is done. Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Goddard calls a stop to this contest at 31 seconds of round number 5, declaring the winner by knockout. And still, the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Jon Bones Jones. Sorry for my cough, by the way. Jon Jones, still the heavyweight champion. You can see there, 25,000 in attendance in Nevada. Gate of $8 million, $38 million made off pay-per-view. You love to see it. Money, money, money. Must be funny. In a rich man's world, that is me. Let's see. Any fantastic fights? No. Let's give it to Diaz and Michael Page, huh? Luque with the performance bonus. And Sadeh with the performance bonus. Anybody else? Yeah, let's give it to Max Holloway. He deserves it. $44 million profit. You'll love to see it. Highest paid fighters on the card. Jon Jones, Nate Diaz, Max Holloway, CAIN Velasquez. As they should be. We're going to go ahead and update our rankings and then take a look at what is next to come. Dana has a boner right now. That's probably because of the money we're making. I mean, CAIN Velasquez, Jon Jones, during the right period of time, would have been money. Absolute money. I mean, $38 million in pay-per-view. If you divide that, let me do some quick math real quick. So 38 divided by 60. That's probably not the right way to do it. So 38,000,000 divided by 60. So that's 633,000 pay-per-view buys. That's a pretty good pay-per-view turnout, honestly. It really is, especially for UFC. I mean, all-time highest pay-per-view numbers were McGregor and Khabib, and that did like 2 million. And that did 2 million. 600K pay-per-view buys, that is still very good. Both in their primes, absolutely. I mean, Jon says he's in his prime now, but I highly doubt it. Because his last couple of performances have been very shaky. And I think Jon knows that, and I think that's why he's trying to milk as much money out of the UFC as possible. It sucks to say, especially considering that I'm such a big Jon Jones fan, but it is what it is. He's not as good as he used to be. And part of that might be him not taking the steroids anymore. It is what it is. I'm a fan of his, but come on, you know? Part of it's not taking the steroids anymore. Part of him's not having the drive that you need in a big rivalry like Daniel Cormier. A rivalry like Jon Jones and Daniel Cormier, it adds something. It makes you want to go tougher. It makes you want to go harder. It makes you train harder in the gym. He doesn't have a rivalry like that anymore. You know? He doesn't have the chin he had. He has a fine chin. We've never seen him get knocked out. He's just not, you know, like his defense isn't as good as it used to be. He used to be able to evade punches a lot better, but he was getting pieced up by not only Thiago Santos, but by freaking Dominic Reyes, who we just saw get freaking exposed by Yuri Prohaska. Like, Jon Jones is not as good as he used to be. And it's sad, but it is what it is. Let's update our rankings. At heavyweight, Junior Dos Santos moves up into that number 2 spot. We already know Tai Tuivasa is next. Tai Tuivasa is next in line for the heavyweight title. But he's not going to get his chance just yet because Alexander Rakic is next for the light heavyweight title. Jon Jones, when is he ready? He's ready in about 3 months or so. So, I don't know. 3 months down the line, Alexander Rakic is going to get his chance at the light heavyweight title. I don't know how he's going to do, but good luck. Yuri? Oh, Prochazka. Yuri and Jan both smashed Reyes. Yeah, they did. They absolutely did. Yuri and Jan, that would be a freaking amazing fight. And the thing is, light heavyweight, it's a lot more exciting now because, like, Jon Jones used to be this, like, enigmatic fighter where it's like, oh, they're fighting Jon Jones, time to see another Jon Jones win. But now, you know, the title scene is a lot more open because you have guys, yeah, exactly, Tai Tuivasa #1, you know, drinking the beer out of the shoe and then getting knocked out by Jon Jones. Congratulations. But what I was trying to say was Jon Jones was always like, okay, this is a Jon Jones fight, not this is a title fight. And it still kind of feels like that when Jon Jones is fighting, but I'm talking about the light heavyweight title in the sense that it's a lot more open. You know, when Jan was fighting Israel Adesanya, people were really thinking that Adesanya would win. I thought so. I was hoping so. But Jan Blachowicz is really good. But a guy like Yuri Prochazka, even a guy like Glover Teixeira has a chance now to win the light heavyweight championship, and they have legitimate claims to it, and they have legitimate ways to win the fight. If Glover gets a hold of Jan and submits him, a 42-year-old man is the UFC champion. And that's insane to me, and that's beautiful. And that's why it's a good thing that Jon Jones isn't the champion anymore. He kind of realizes my fights aren't going to be money fights unless I let these guys kind of get to shine a little bit. Sorry for going out on a little bit of a tangent there, but you know, if Jon Jones does those things to me, I guess. Hidaka moving up to #21. Perry Filkins back in the rankings. At welterweight, Tyron Woodley down to #8. And we already know who our next contender is for welterweight. It is Ismail Nardiev, after beating Colby Covington on a nice 5-fight winning streak in his own right. He is next in line for Vicente Luque, who's ready to go next month. Are you kidding me? I love this guy. I love this guy. Love this guy. Tyron Woodley down to #8. Venom Page down to #13. Nate Diaz up to #7. Cooper up to #17. Nothing at lightweight. At featherweight, Zabit down to #7. And we already know who is next in line for featherweight. It is Yair Rodriguez after knocking out Jose Aldo. Wins over Mendez and Aldo. Good enough. He gets his second opportunity at Max Holloway. Nothing at bantamweight. At flyweight, Sadet up to #17. Espinosa down to #22. Nothing at featherweight or bantamweight. At flyweight, Jessica I moves down, but that's about it. And at strawweight, Stamp Fairtex is number 3. Amanda Hebos is next, but right after that is Stamp Fairtex. Congratulations to her. You've earned your shot. That's inspiring as fuck if Glover gets the championship, but he has a hard task. Yeah. But like I said, he takes him down, works some jiu-jitsu magic, and Glover Teixeira wins the title. And it would be such a feel-good story, you know, for Glover. I'm rooting for him, but I feel like Jan will still win if he's able to keep the fight standing. We'll see. We'll see. So there are your rankings. The next time I see you guys will be for UFC Fight Night Shogun versus Uzdemir, followed by Jakashi versus McKee, Alvarez versus McDonald, Gillespie versus Hughes, and then UFC 292, Fajeda versus Ferguson. That should be a pretty good pay-per-view. 3 title fights on that one as well. I'm AZPlow21. I appreciate you guys as always. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter. Links down in the description below. And I will see you guys at the fights.